Nana, why do I have this? Tara asked, her voice quivering as she held out her palms. The lines and symbols drawn in ink stared back at her, a secret language only she and her grandmother could read. Nana's eyes grew soft as she took Tara's hand in hers. This marks, my child, are the map of your destiny. They are the key to the ancient art of healing that has been passed down through the generations of our family. Tara's heart raced as she studied the intricate patterns. But what does it mean? Her grandmother Nana squeezed her hands gently. You are the chosen one to carry on the legacy, Tara. With these marks, you can heal the sick and the injured. Tara's eyes widened in disbelief. How? How can I do that? Nana's smile was warm and reassuring. You will learn, Tara. The marks will guide you. But first, you must understand the true nature of your gift. It is not just about healing, it's about balance. The energy you give must come from within, and it is not infinite. Each healing will take a piece of your own vitality. Tara nodded solemnly, feeling the weight of her newfound destiny. What happens if I run out of energy? Nana's expression grew serious. Then, my dear, you must find a way to restore it. That is the delicate dance of the healer. Now, let us begin your training. For weeks, Tara studied under Nana's watchful eye. She learned to harness her energy, to listen to the whispers of the plants and the earth, and to mend broken bones and soothe feverish brows. The villagers grew to rally on her, and her gift became a beacon of hope in the heart of the African village. Her best friend Kofi watched her progress with a mix of awe and jealousy. His curiosity piqued by the magic that seemed to emanate from her fingertips. One fateful day, Kofi fell gravely ill. His body was racked with fever, and his eyes had lost their usual sparkle. The village looked to Tara, but she felt powerless. Despite her training, she could not decipher the patterns of illness that ravaged him. Desperation clutched at her heart as she watched him fade before her eyes. Nana noticed Tara's distress, took her aside. Your gift is strong, but it is not absolute. Some ailments are beyond the reach of our ancestral healing. Her voice was firm yet gentle, carrying the weight of an unspoken truth. Tara's desperation grew into determination. But I can't just let him die. Nana's gaze was solemn. There is another way, one that I have not shared with you before, but it comes at a great cost. Tara's eyes searched hers, fears and hope intertwined. What is it? Nana took a deep breath. The ultimate healing comes from the heart of the jungle, a place where the spirits of our ancestors dwell. It's a powerful and dangerous place, but it holds the cure for any ailment. Tara's pulse quickened. What's the cost? Nana's expression grew pained. The heart of the jungle requires a sacrifice from the one who seeks its power. It's a gift that must be earned. Tara felt a cold shiver down her spine. What kind of sacrifice? Nana looked away, her eyes misting over. A piece of yourself, a piece of your very essence. It's a price only a true healer can pay. Tara's thoughts raced. Her friend's life was hanging by a thread, and she had the power to save him. She made her decision without hesitation. I'll do it. Tell me how to get there. Nana's eyes searched hers, understanding the gravity of what she was about to undertake. You must journey into the heart of the jungle, beyond the waterfall, where the whispers of the ancestors can be heard. There you will find the great tree, the source of all healing energy. Sarah nodded, her resolve unwavering. How do I get there? Nana's eyes searched hers, a silent conversation of trust and love passing between them. You must follow the path of the Spirit. It's not a journey for the faint of heart, but your strength and the purity of your intention will guide you. With a heavy heart, Sarah set off into the dense foliage, her eyes searching for any sign of the whispers her grandmother had spoken of. The jungle was alive with sounds and smells she had never noticed before. Each rustle of leaves and snaps of a twig seemed to echo with the weight of her decision. As she ventured deeper, the vines grew thicker, the trees taller, and the air grew thick with the scent of earth and wet leaves. The path grew steeper, and the sweat rolled down her forehead, stinging her eyes. The sun's light was filtered through the canopy above, casting a dappled pattern on the ground that danced as she moved. The jungle grew quiet, almost as if it was holding its breath, waiting to see if she was worthy of its secret. Sarah's legs ached, but she pushed on, driven by the image of Kofi's suffering. The whispers grew louder, a cacophony of ancient voices that grew clearer as she approached the waterfall. The roar of the water grew deafening as she drew closer, and she felt a strange vibration in the air. Finally, she reached the base of the falls. The mists cool against her skin. She stepped through the curtains of water and into a hidden chamber, the walls glowing with a soft, otherworldly light. The great tree stood before her, its trunk wide and gnarled. Roots reached out like welcoming arms. The whispers grew to a crescendo, a chorus of ancestral voices that filled her with a mix of awe and trepidation. She approached the tree, her palms tingling with anticipation. Placing her hands upon the bark, she closed her eyes and focused her energy, feeling the power of the tree surge through her veins. The voices grew clearer, guiding her to a hidden chamber within the trunk, a place where the air was thick with the scent of ancient wisdom. The chamber was filled with a soft, pulsing light, and at its center was a crystal embedded in the wood, the heart of the jungle. Sarah reached out tentatively, her hands trembling as it hovers over the crystal. The voices grew softer, urging her to make her sacrifice. With a deep breath, she placed her hand over the crystal, feeling a sudden jolt of energy, as if the very essence of the jungle was flowing into her. The crystal began to glow brighter, and she felt a piece of herself being drawn out, a vital part of her spirit being offered in exchange for the powers to save Kofi. The world around her grew hazy, and she staggered back, the weight of her decision pressing down on her. As the light faded, she realized that what she has done. The heart of the jungle had accepted as her offering, and she could feel the powers of the ancestors surging within her. Sarah's eyes snapped open, and she rushed back to the village, her heart pounding in her chest. The journey had taken longer than she had anticipated, and the sun was setting by the time she arrived. The villagers looked at her with a mix of curiosity and concern, noticing the newfound glow that emanated from her. Ignoring their stares, she made her way to Kofi's hut, her mind racing with the knowledge she had gained. She pushed aside the curtains and knelt beside his sickbed, her hands glowing with the energy of the great tree. She placed her palms on his forehead, and the power of the heart of the jungle surged through her into him. Kofi's eyes fluttered open, and for a moment she saw the spark of recognition. Then his body convulsed, and a scream tore from his throat. The villagers rushed in, their eyes wide with fear and hope. Tara held on, channeling the healing energy her own vitality drained away from with each pulse. The room grew brighter, the air thick with the scent of life and magic. The convulsion subsided and Kofi's breath grew steady. His fever broke and the color began to return to his cheeks. Tara felt the last of her strength leaving her, and she collapsed beside him. Her eyes closing, the room was silent, save for the distant whispers of the jungle and the steady beating of heart. When she awoke, the room was dark. The only light comes from the flickering candle on the wooden table. Kofi's mother, Mame, was sitting by her side, her eyes filled with gratitude. "You've done it," she murmured, her voice thick with emotion. Tara's eyes searched the room, finding Kofi's peaceful form on the bed. He looked so much better, the fever gone, and the color returning to his skin. She felt a deep exhaustion, but the joy of saving her friend overwhelmed her. "How is he?" she asked weakly. Mame offered a gentle smile. "He's going to be fine, thanks to you." The relief washed over Tara, but it was tinged with the knowledge of what she had given up. She looked down at her palms, the inked lines pulsing faintly. The price of her gift was now etched into her very soul. Days passed, and the villagers revered her more than ever before. Yet Tara felt a profound emptiness, a part of her missing. Her interactions with Kofi were strained. His eyes now held a hint of wariness that was never there before. The bond between them had shifted, a secret chasm that she feared they might never cross again. One evening, as the sun painted the sky with shadows of orange and pink, Tara found Nana sitting by the village fire, her eyes distant and lost in thought. "What was the sacrifice you made for the village?" Tara asked, unable to hold her question any longer. Nana looked up, her expressions a mix of sadness and resignation. "I gave them my youth, my strength," she replied, her voice a mere whisper. "The heart of the jungle demands much from those who seek its power, but in doing so, I ensure the prosperity and health of our people." Tara's eyes widened in shock. "But Nana, that's..." Nana's hand gently silenced her. "It's a way of the healer, Tara. A burden we bear for the sake of those we love." Tara's thoughts swirled like the dust around their feet. The realization that her grandmother had given so much for the village was a heavy burden to bear. She felt the gravity of her decision more than ever before. "What now?" she asked, her voice barely audible over the crackling fire. Nana's gaze was soft and knowing. Now you must decide if you can live with the cost of your gift. The path of a healer is not an easy one. There will be times when you must choose between saving others and preserving yourself. Tara looked into the fire, the flames reflecting the turmoil in her heart. But what if I can't do it anymore? Nana took Tara's hand in hers, her grip firm and warm. The marks do not define you, my child. They are merely a tool. Your strength comes from within. Tara looked into her grandmother's eyes, searching for the answers she so desperately needed. But what if I lose too much of myself? Nana's grip tightened. Then you find a way to restore your balance. Remember, the jungle is a place of give and take. For every piece of yourself you offer, it will give something in return if your intentions are pure. The next morning, Sarah woke up with a new sense of purpose. She knew that she couldn't let her fears hold her back with her duty. With a heavy heart, she made her way to the edge of the village, the whispers of the jungle calling to her once more. She walked with a newfound respect for the powers that now flowed through her veins, feeling the pulse of the earth beneath her feet. And she approached the waterfall. She paused, the memory of her sacrifice still fresh. The voices grew clearer, urging her to continue her journey. She stepped through the curtains of water and into the chamber of the great tree. The crystal at its center gleamed with the promise of untapped power. Sarah took a deep breath and approached it, her palms hovering just above the surface. The voice grew louder, a cacophony of ancestral wisdom that filled her with both dread and determination. She knew that to ask for more, she would have to give something of herself in return. With trembling hands, she placed her palms on the crystal, feeling the energy surge through her once more. The crystal grew brighter and she felt a piece of her essence being drawn out, the cost of her request. But this time, she also felt something else, a gentle tugging, as if the jungle itself was offering her a lifeline. A vision of her grandmother, young and vibrant, flashed before her eyes. Take only what you need, Nana's voice echoed in her mind. The jungle gives back to those who knows how to ask. With newfound resolve, Sarah pulled her energy back, taking just enough to restore her strength. The crystal's glow dimmed, and she felt a surge of vitality rush through her veins. It was a delicate balance, one she would have to learn to maintain. Leaving the chamber, she stepped out into the jungle, the whispers of the ancestors fading behind her. The path back to the village was now familiar, yet she walked with a heavier step, the weight of her gift ever present. As she emerged from the waterfall, the setting sun cast long shadows over the path, the jungle's way of reminding her of the price she had paid. Back in the village, she found Kofi sitting up, a slight smile playing on his lips as he watched the children play. His eyes lit up when he saw her, and she felt a pang of joy mixed with the lingering fear of their recent ordeal. "You're back," he said, his voice still weak but filled with life. Sarah nodded, her smile tentative. "I had to find a way to help you, Kofi." He studied her for a moment, the weariness in his eyes slowly fading. "I know," he said finally. "Thank you." Their friendship was a fragile thread, but Tara was determined to mend it. She sat beside him, her eyes searching the horizon. "I need to learn to control these powers," she said softly, "so that I can help others without losing myself." Kofi nodded, understanding in his gaze. We all have our parts to walk, Tara. I'll support you no matter what. The days turned into weeks, and Tara threw herself into her healing duties with renewed vigor. She learned to listen to the whispers of the earth, to understand the subtle changes in the air, and to recognize the signs of illness before they manifested. The villagers grew to depend on her, and she found joy in bringing relief to their pain. Yet, she never forgot the cost of her gift. Each healing took a piece of her, leaving her fulfilled. That is the end of my story. You have to give something to get what you want. It's a sacrifice. Hope it is worth it. Thanks for being part of this channel. I implore you to like, to share, and subscribe so that you will get to know as soon as we drop any story. Thanks for being part of this channel. Thanks for being part of our success story. Cheers. Catch you.